it take to pull this off?
Guts. It's plain and simple. It was the ability to dig down and go somewhere when things weren't going your way. We were struggling defensively in the first half, but collectively we went out and just found a way. And, you don't do that without, heart, courage, and fortitude.
You said this group it took guts, it just had to dig down. Why this group, when you guys are so undermanned, are they able to find that?
They're committed to each other. I think that's been the fun part. They just don't want to let each other down. They don't want to disappoint one another, and they love to compete. And there's a fire burning in them when they're out there competing because they know the next guy or next to them is competing at that same level. So it's like one guy just feeds off the other guy, and next thing you know, a spark turns to a flame, and you look out there and there's a collective unit of dudes that are just getting after it.
What did Jared Allen show you tonight?
He's relentless. It was impressive. He was aggressive from the start, but it was a refusal to let us lose in so many different ways. We asked him to do so many things. Out there defensively, he's guarding on the perimeter, then he's got a rebound, then he's got a switch, then he's got a trap. And then offensively, we put the ball in his hands and let him make the right basketball play. And he finishes with 6 assists, getting his teammates involved, but then was able to find his also. So, again, I can't say enough about what Jared's been doing, and he's been carrying us.
Was that Carris's best game this season?
I think it was the game of the moment. We needed him in that second half to find a way to produce buckets. He's one of the guys that we have left here that, can ISO and create on his own right now. And, when you're playing a team that's well coached like the Mavs, sometimes your stuff is going to break down and you need a guy to go get one. And I thought, Carris was extremely timely on the offensive end for us, and then had some, steals or deflections late in that game, put some pressure on guys defensively. So I thought he was a standout as well.
How big was that reversal call on the charge for Carris?
It's a good thing that we had, our challenge available to us. It's a great reason to have that rule because those block charge calls are probably the most difficult calls in our game. So to be able to have the opportunity to review it and then give the refs credit for having the courage to overturn it, it was big time for us.
Isaac obviously had a big task of guarding Luka. Second half, he only had 10 points after scoring 29 in the first half. What was the adjustment that was made? What did you see from Dean Wade and Isaac on that one?
This was everybody. We made the decision, to just try to get the ball out of his hands, and we went to trap him more, force him to get off of it, and then be in rotations and see if, the other guys can make enough plays to beat you. So this isn't about, one guy. Obviously, we had a bunch of individuals take the challenge, but you got to have a group effort to slow a guy like Luka down, and I thought we did a great job of that in the second half.
One of the phrases we often hear is keeping the lines of communication open, but talk about the honest communication you guys had to have with yourselves tonight to battle back.
You want to use the right words here. You can't trick yourself. Right. And if you're not willing to have honest, hard conversations, you'll lose trust and you'll lack trust, and it won't allow you to do things like we did tonight. Right. If you have, a bunch of guys who, aren't willing to tell each other the truth when we're down like we were, they split. But our guys were willing to tell each other the hard truth, communicate with one another and fix problems. I think that's where you get in trouble, is if you don't communicate, small things just continue to build on top of it and become huge things. But I think our guys did a great job of communicating their way out of it tonight.
Anything else? Ethan.
Craig Porter Jr., we've talked about his offensive ability, but, he had steals, he was blocking, he was guarding. How much have you seen him grow, and how important is he to this group?
You go back and you look at his history, and he led his team in every single category. right? So he knows how to play the game of basketball, and he knows how to impact the game in a bunch of different ways. You give him the minutes, and he goes out, and it seems like he's flirting with a triple-double, when he gets his opportunity. So, he's a hooper, and his journey, the years that he's spent in, his maturity, the places that he's seen, just give him a poise and a confidence to just go be himself, and he's not trying to be anybody else, and that's who he is. He's a stat sheet stuffer. He's a guy just with a high IQ who knows how to impact the game.